Happy Monday. All right, so we're here with our Monday card reading. Guys, I just want to say thank you too for loving these readings. And I remember a time when I was afraid to say that this was the work that I felt called to, and really just like afraid of coming out of the spiritual closet. And the fact that I can sit here with you and share this passion of mine and teach you guys how to strengthen your intuition and your connection is like such a blessing to me, and I'm just so grateful for the time that we're in. So thank you. Also a reminder of if you do feel excited and called to this work and interested and curious about this work, I have a free guided meditation that helps you meet your spirit guide. A lot of you ask about your spirit guides. When I do readings, people are always asking about their spirit guides, and I feel very much like a messenger of the spirit guides. I love to like introduce that into people's spiritual practice. So check out nikinovo.com/spirit. I'll also write it down here in the description. And also if you go to the link in my Instagram bio, there's a link to the spirit guide meditation. So check that out, and it puts you on my email list as well. And I'm always sending out like different tips of how to connect and how to be more intuitive and all that. So yeah, if you like that, check it out. Okay, so speaking of being afraid of coming out of the closet, of the spiritual closet, this was actually one of my first deck of cards. It's the Saint and Angels cards, because I grew up Catholic and angels felt very like doable for me. I was like, all right, they're in the Bible and I feel safe with them. So I gravitated when I first started realizing that this was coming through me and that I felt the things around me. Angels was the first thing that I learned, like the first type of spirits that I learned about. And this deck of cards, which is by Doreen Virtue, it incorporates the saints as well. I don't think you can really see it. And of course, since I grew up Catholic, I was like, okay, I know saints, like I know how that works. And it's true, saints are so mystic. If you read the Bible, like they were having visions and they were having all these things. So, when people are like, well, but it's bad. And I'm like, well, your saints have been having visions and being mystical for forever. So I hope that if you ever feel that it's a departure from your religion, that it's really not. We still practice Catholicism in our family. So, okay, guys, I'm going to pick, two cards. You are going to ask yourself a question, and you're going to decide if that question is going to be answered by card number 1 or card number 2. You have to decide that before I read the cards, because if not, that would be cheating. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. Allow the guidance to come through to you. Receive it. Be open to it. And pick your card. All right. So card number 1. All right. Sign from above. Cool. So this card is a reminder that you can ask for signs. Also, some of you may have already be receiving signs, and they're kind of just reminding you that like that sign is valid, right? To believe in it, right? Signs stop working when we don't believe in them. So if you're receiving signs, if you're already feeling like this is the path or this is correct or things are going to be okay, to really listen to it, to not doubt it. Now, the other flip of that is that you can start asking for signs. So it's crazy how kind of quickly this can work. I don't like for you guys to get superstitious about it and to replace signs for your intuition, right? Like you have intuition, you don't need a sign for every step. But every once in a while, when we're in our own shed and we're stuck, it's nice to receive a sign. So there's a few ways that you can do signs. You can basically like for those of us who are kind of just developing a connection with our divine team, which is like your spirit guides, your angels, all this kind of stuff, your past loved ones, you can just be like, okay, like, well, when I see a rainbow, I know that I'm on the right path. Please show me a yellow bird. Please show me an orange butterfly or whatever. It's not instantly, but kind of to see if that's coming through to you. When I see a rabbit, that's a sign for me that I'm getting closer, let's say, okay? So you can set that intention, and then if you don't see it, it's like, okay, well, let me like reevaluate. You can also some, you know, without, you don't have to necessarily, if you feel like you can trust yourself enough, you don't have to give that specific, like, this is what I'm looking for when you give me a sign. You can also say, like, please give me a very clear sign that, like, what I'm thinking is the right path. Like, please give me, like, a very clear sign. And you have to, that to me is like level 2 in signs, because you really have to let go, and you really have to not try to force. Because here's the thing about signs, law of attraction, right? Law of attraction still, so it's like, I remember I wanted a Peloton bike, which I have, and it's been the best thing for me. But I remember I wanted it, and I was like, oh, but they're so expensive. Like, it's such a, you know, it's an investment. So I was like, okay, give me a sign that I'm supposed to get this Peloton bike. And like a few days later in the mail came like, you know, just a little flyer that said like, buy your Peloton bike, like where you're in your area, all this kind of stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a sign. And a girlfriend of mine was like, and then I was like, wait a second, is it a sign or is it like law of attraction? Am I just thinking about this Peloton so much that like I'm calling it to me, right? Like it gets tricky. That's what gets tricky with the signs. And it's true, like I was saying that, and my girlfriend was like, well, like, if it was law of attraction and you were excited about it, like, then that's a sign that like you really want it, you know, like, then that it's really going to work for you, right? So, so I thought, I was like, yeah, you know what, at the same time, like, kind of, if it comes, let's say law of attraction brings me the opposite, and I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I'm not getting a Peloton. That in itself is a sign to me that like, I really want this thing, and that like, it's going to be worth it for me. So, that is like kind of level 2 stuff, but that's also a way to ask for signs, but you have to be able to like really let go and to not try to manipulate the sign, right? To not manipulate what you want it to be, but to be like, I'm completely open to what is the right answer to me. Please, like, allow me to see the very clear sign that this is the right path for me. I did that recently. I was trying to do a program, and I was thinking like, this is how I want to do it. And it was so weird. Like in a few minutes, my husband comes home and he starts talking to me, and I was telling him something about some other person I was watching with their programs, and he's like, that's such a good idea for you. Like, you should do it. And he was like basically telling me, it was like the spirit speaking through him, telling me exactly like how he thought like this program would work out for me. And I was like, okay, I got it. So that's level 2 stuff. Level 1 is more like bird, blah, blah, blah. Level 2 is when you feel like you can trust yourself enough, you can go for that stuff. So that's what this card is. Like, communicate with me. Let's get together. I'm talking to you, like, pick up the signs that I'm trying to give you, and let's start developing that language. If you're having trouble with that, I teach that in Soul Seeker. So just DM me and I'll tell you a little bit more about Soul Seeker. All right. Card number 2. We love Joan of Arc, right? She was a killer, but nonetheless, strong woman. You're a leader, okay? Joan of Arc. This is like, you got this. Like, you know exactly what to do. Don't doubt yourself. If you did not doubt yourself, what would you do? If you believed in yourself, what would you do, right? Really asking yourself those questions. What would a leader do? How should a leader act? Are you acting as a leader? And really kind of stepping into that energy of being a leader, of being a strong woman or man. And strong doesn't mean aggressive. It means powerful within myself, right? That it's coming from my solar plexus, that I feel strong within myself and making decisions from that place. So if we can take a minute to be like, okay, and I want you to do this if this is your card. If I didn't doubt myself, if I could just like remove the little energy of doubt for a second, because it's a cloud. If I could just remove that cloud of energy, that cloud of doubt for a second, what would be true, right? What would be true for me? If you're having a hard time removing those clouds of doubt and anxiety and all that kind of stuff, your answers are underneath them, right? But you have to move that out. So get your ass on a Peloton bike, or go, not a Peloton bike, but that's how I do it. Go for a run, go dance, go for a really awesome dance class, and move that energy out, because underneath that anxious energy, doubtful energy is just an energy. It just needs to be moved. Once it's moved, then ask yourself these questions, okay? That is what a leader does. That is a person who believes in their own inner strength, is able to move that energy out for a second. Doesn't mean that it's permanent. It'll probably it can come right back the next day or so, but that we know how to move it, get the answer, and if it comes back in, it's okay because we still trust in the answer. Okay, so if you're feeling like you can't get clear, you can't hear your own inner guidance, what do I need to do to move that out? Okay, so there you go. All right, guys, thanks for spending some time with me. 2 cool cards, and I will see you this next week.